Yeah.
Welcome to the final viewing of the movie Dawn of the Beast, 2021 release, April 6th. As a matter of fact, yeah, April 6th. April 6th.
It's a Frankenstein abortion at best. Jesus Christ.
As the new sub-series of CineQuest, we are focusing on horror movies. And again, it's a roll of the dice sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
We don't know what we're getting, you know?
Yeah, and then sometimes you just get fucked.
Well, let's just not give away what we think about this movie, Roland. I mean, it might be really good.
I mean, I meant that in like in an ambiguous way. It could be good or bad.
But yeah, so Dawn of the Beast, director is Bruce Wemple, and writer was Anna Shields, and apparently
she also starred in
the movie too.
Lily, the blonde,
the depressed girl.
Yes, the bitter one.
That's how I have her in my notes, as the depressed girl.
Yeah. Well, I had some other things to say, but sure, let's go with that.
I'm just gonna stick with that.
Right.
So basically, this movie starts off with a couple in what seems like it's a cabin, sort of, but it looks like a house, really.
Yeah.
It's a cabin.
Yeah.
It's nighttime. They're, I guess, getting ready. I guess they just had sex or something.
Probably. Sure.
And what's the guy's name? Garrett?
Yeah. Garrett Dillon.
Yeah. And Garrett hears noises outside.
Excuse me, it was Everett Dillon.
Everett, sorry.
Everett Dillon Garrett.
Right. So his name was kind of cool.
Why? Okay.
So this guy actually goes outside because he hears noises and stuff like that. So he's just kind of looking around. And his other half happens to get summoned outside.
Right, yes.
Something is calling her.
Yeah.
There's like, you see lights in the background of the windows, just little headlights, you know. And he just so happens to come across a Bigfoot that kind of gives him a little "Arr."
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And nothing happens from that. I assumed that there was going to be a huge Bigfoot scene, but there wasn't. He just kind of like trots over back to his little other person.
He's probably out there taking a piss. Who knows?
Yeah. It's inside me.
Right. That's right. She's crying or whatever. And then Everett goes up to her and she's like, "It's inside me." And then that's when she gets dragged off. I thought it was so funny because she gets dragged off and Everett just kind of watches her go, and then
there's like a long pause and
and then he's like,
no,
and then 10 years later, like
Dawn of the Beast.
Yeah, right? Which, that's the first half of the trailer for the movie. Basically just summarizes.
But before we continue, if you don't know, my name is Ray and this is Roland here, and we are in Nowhere Man Studios.
Mm-hmm.
So continuing on with this movie, we come upon some graduate
students who are going out into the boonies.
They're studying cryptozoology.
They're taking a class. Yeah, no.
Is this a real class? Like,
absolutely
I can go
not.
back to school for this, you know?
Yeah.
Is there a parapsychology degree also that I can take?
It's a certificate.
It's a certificate. Yeah, hey, I'll take it. You know, fuck it. If I can officially call myself a parapsychologist, certified,
yeah,
I would definitely do it.
I could see this being like maybe
I can guarantee you
interest group. I don't know.
I can guarantee you Brian would do it too.
Oh, absolutely.
To wear that fucking Ghostbusters uniform,
that
authentically. Come on.
Or he'd be wearing that trench coat of his or something. Maybe.
No, he'll be wearing that Bakeman.
Yeah, I know. There's no contest. He'd be there with it for sure. They're taking the crypto. They're all graduates working on their master's degrees.
But they're taking like this. This is like almost like a class. That they're taking out in the woods.
Maybe it's an elective. Fuck if I know. Like, I've taken mythology courses. They exist, but it's not. You're not going to find.
But there are
cryptids and there are classes on zoology. Not cryptozoology. I mean, sorry, not sorry. I would love to take that class, right?
It'd be fun.
Yeah, but certainly, there's absolutely no fucking way it'd be a graduate, a master's level course. Nobody's gonna fucking pay like fucking $2,500 to take a goddamn class on Bigfoot.
What about if we audited? How much would that cost?
that's like $10.
Oh, that's
But again, like,
but we don't get the certificate.
Nobody would fucking pay. Master's classes are fucking expensive, dude. Like they're generally like twice the price of a bachelor's class. I could see this being a fucking bachelor's class, maybe.
And a bachelor's elective class.
Yes, exactly. You know, like it'd be like
it's a throwaway science.
It would be like
or humanities.
A fucking yeah. Well, hey, it would be like probably if a teacher was teaching like anthropology and also biology kind of thing, because you know, it'd be an excuse for them to go out fucking camping. That's all that shit would be. Like, are you fucking kidding me? And well, one of the guys is actually writing his thesis. They don't say what, but specifically, but like it's sort of intimated that he's writing it on Sasquatch, on Bigfoot.
Right, but
he's like, when he goes in there, he's like, I got a lot to say about this.
I do want to make a comment about that. Is that whoever was writing this movie, again, it was Anna Shields.
We know who it was.
I feel like she has just a very basic general overview of
I think you might be being a bit generous there, Ray.
You think so?
I think she probably Wikipedia'd this shit, maybe.
Well, I mean, according
because
to
if her writing skills are anything like her acting skills, right? No.
Well, according to the IMDb wiki, whatever you want to call it. This is an entire universe that's going on here.
Oh, right. Yes. This is the Wempelverse.
The Wempelverse,
right. So this guy, apparently Anna Shields and that is to say Lily's character and the director have...
they have a few movies on their belt.
They've got a few movies together. Yeah.
You would think that they didn't
and
by watching this.
Yeah. No, I'm absolutely not expecting it. So this movie, this is going to be the launch for Shitfest. It's going to happen. We weren't expecting this. I mean, I didn't know what to expect, of course. I didn't see the trailer or anything, but
yes, also I never seen the trailer. I just heard that this was a release of 2020. Dawn of the Beast. The title sounds cool.
This was a blind pick. Yeah, exactly.
We literally just finished watching this movie right now, so it's fresh in our minds. Yeah. And again, it wasn't anything that was thought out as far as I hadn't seen a trailer, so I had no idea.
So this movie is supposed to be about Bigfoot. Right.
Supposed to be.
But then as it goes on, you find out it's about the Wendigo, which is it's a Native American mythological creature that is supposed to possess people that are cannibals. They call it the spirit of the flesh.
It's supposed to possess people that are already cannibals?
Well, like people that like eat human flesh. The spirit comes in.
I know what a cannibal is, but I'm just curious. I'm not too familiar with the mythology.
Right.
The mythology of the Wendigo.
Yeah.
They only possess people that are already human flesh eaters.
Right. It doesn't turn them into flesh eaters. Is that what you mean? Like kind of thing? Like it possesses them, and all of a sudden they have to eat brains. No.
Then what's the point?
It's a curse. It's a curse.
So basically, now they just look ugly.
But yeah, pretty much. Like it's I forget like how exactly it's supposed to look, but it's something along the lines of Sasquatch. It's just a big hairy clawed beast.
Well, these Wendigos weren't hairy,
right? So in this one, they almost look like gremlins. They're short, squat, like skinless.
Okay. Those are those.
Excuse me, hairless.
Are those the creatures that are like walking around,
right,
and actually doing the killings,
right? Yeah.
Are those the physical manifestations of the actual spirit of the Wendigo, which we're seeing in this movie?
So that's the other thing. We see the Wendigo proper in the flesh, as those fucking golems running around, or some like budget Dollar General golems running around.
But the spirit,
but then the actual spirit of Wendigo like is
it has horns,
right? It's like a cow skull with antlers, with deer antlers, and it just sort of floats. Yeah, it has glowing eyes, and it sort of floats in the air. I think it has like a cloak or whatever. You can't really see because it's always dark. So the CG and the practical effects for this
I get the imagery of this
subpar at best.
This movie.
The lights are always off.
The way that it is shot to make the Wendigo look like a menacing spirit off in the distance.
It just looks silly. It just floats there. Because one of the things that they relate that spirit's appearance to in this movie is that whomever it afflicts, they hallucinate. They see all kinds of.
It only like possesses those that are already selfish.
So yes, they changed the lore in this movie to get people that are greedy. So what happens is one of the characters, they've stumbled upon a corpse out in the sticks. And instead of reporting it, the guy writing his Sasquatch thesis is like, come on, they've been dead for a while already.
What's a few more days?
What's a few more days? Decomposition on a body is 8 to 15 years. What's it matter? And the other two kids that are with him, the other two students that are with him, they have good points. They're like, why would we impede a missing persons investigation? Which is actually a very valid thing. Like,
isn't that kind of like against the law?
I believe so. I'm not too sure on the specifics. But like, if you see something like that, yes, you are obligated to report it.
And if you don't?
If you don't, I don't know that you would be liable. You might be fined or implicated if there's something related to it. At the very least, they might hold you as a suspect, possibly.
Okay.
I would assume. So like, you could get yourself into fucking trouble. Okay, that's the main thing there. But homeboy is just not having it, and so he convinces the other two not to report it, and they're like, well, fine, I guess we'll just go. And as they're leaving, they leave, and what's her name? Isabel stays behind.
Yeah. She's the girlfriend of one of the guys. I forget his name. But he's like a pushover.
Yeah, he's a dumbass.
She kind of like takes advantage of his kindness, niceness, stupidity, if you will.
Is it Chris or Jake? I think it's Chris.
Yeah, it's Chris. Yeah,
it's Chris. Yeah, because Oz is a homeboy who apparently easily convinces them. That's the other thing. This group is made up of dorks and like
shitheads
and assholes. Yeah, like whiny motherfuckers. And
that would make. I mean,
the dork convinces them to ignore a possible fucking like missing persons case, homicide.
But like
for the sake of the trip, he waited a long time to get out here, and this is also the same guy that like sees a pile of shit, puts a stick in it, and takes a deep breath. Ooh, that smells like Bigfoot, or what does he say?
No, he gets it and he goes,
that's fresh Sasquatch.
That's Sasquatch. I'm like, get the fuck out of here.
What the fuck is this? So as they're leaving, they leave, Isabel stays behind, and she sees an emerald necklace on the corpse, and just has to.
I got two things about that.
Yeah.
One, that's supposed to be the girl that was taken.
Right.
Because she was wearing the necklace.
She was wearing the necklace.
Two, why does she have double teeth? Is it because she turned into one of those creatures or something?
I think so. Or
in the movie, like
it could have just been a really shitty prop.
The body that they find that's been decomposing has two sets of teeth on the bottom and on the top. So 4, I guess.
Yeah.
It looked kind of odd.
I don't know. I'm going to err on the idea that, and I was telling you before, these guys raided a Spirit of Halloween fucking warehouse for these props. They don't even use like fake blood kind of thing for any of the other parts.
There is fake blood in this movie, but like they use a lot of CG. They use CGI whenever possible.
When it's being sprayed out, like they kind of put it on there as makeup. You see a little blood dripping.
They have enough for like a small bottle.
But when somebody's getting torn apart or whatever, oh no, you know what? It does. There is one part in the end of the movie where it happens, but you can't see because the lighting is so fucking bad. I don't know if it's intentional or not, but when
I know Bigfoot has a lot of blood on him.
Yeah,
but that could probably easily be anything.
When what's her name gets her arm ripped off, and you see a little that's it. Like
she was probably probably had one of those squeeze things for like your nose.
Yeah,
or your ears,
right. The koosh
just went. I'm almost certain that happened.
Put it under her arm. So Isabel takes that emerald, and that's basically like where she gets fucked. She gets, later on, she hallucinates as she's driving around trying to get signal for her work call. Yeah. But like, I honestly think
it's implied that she's cheating on her boyfriend,
or like fed up with him because like she was eyeballing Oz in the beginning of the movie, and Oz is like a fucking loser.
Now the professor goes with her as well, and
Right.
I'm kind of curious as to what that was about. I thought they were like in some kind of relationship or something.
Oh,
at first
that would've
I
been
thought they were
funny.
gonna screw.
Yeah.
But of course that
No.
doesn't happen. But
No.
because he says he has to call his wife.
Yeah, because he went with them on this camping trip. The
On their
professor,
anniversary.
On the wife's anniversary. And he's like, I think that might have been why she was angry with me. Like, because he's drunk.
Yeah.
Like, he's apparently a fucking lush or whatever. And
Yeah.
he's like, "Meh, meh, 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 meh. You know, life sucks. They're probably going to shut down my department. And I'm the only one that supports my family. And like,
I like
really?
Bigfoots and stuff. Like
Yeah, yeah. Oh no, they're gonna shut you down because you're a quack. Okay, sure.
There's one thing that's probably like
Fucking moron.
one of the big problems with this movie is that I'm saying one of the problems. Okay?
One of
there's many. So one of many of the problems with this movie, and it's pretty crucial, is that I don't give one fuck about any of these characters.
No, their acting is.
I hope
so
they are.
hammy.
I'm wanting
It's
all of them to die
it's
horrific deaths.
So overacting or like so like just bad stereotypes of. Ugh. It's too hard to go into everything, and we shouldn't. We
No, we're
really
not
shouldn't.
gonna.
Let's
We're not
keep this
gonna.
brief.
Yeah, because I mean, if you want to watch this movie, by all means, go ahead.
but don't.
Hey, you know what?
You need
do
some-
do it drunk.
Yeah,
Yes.
you need some of
drink
this.
something, because like that's the only way to watch this movie.
Yeah, because you're gonna laugh. It's dumb. It's so fucking dumb.
And
Every time
this is the different reason to
That's-
drink, because we talked about fried berry the last time, and we said maybe you should be inebriated in some way or another, but that is just to enhance the experience.
Right, this
is to like numb yourself.
yeah, this makes it tolerable.
Yeah. So again, you don't give a shit about any of the characters in this movie. I'm kind of waiting for each one of them to get picked
Yeah.
off, and the more gruesome, the better, because that's probably the most satisfying part. And you know what? Some of them don't even really get picked off that well.
No, a lot of them
yeah.
get like two of them are off screen or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
Everett gets killed off screen. Like he just sort of gets dragged. Oz is flat out like you just see him like duck down, and then you see some CG blood splat, and that's it. Like that's the last you see of him.
But we made a comment about the fact that they used CG blood because that this was shot like over a weekend.
Yeah,
And they were renting the house, or it was
Right,
someone's house,
yeah.
and they couldn't damage it.
No.
And they couldn't dirty it. So
No.
they had to do as much as they could
Right.
in CG.
you don't have to clean that shit up. That takes time.
Exactly.
Sorry, we only got this for 2 days, guys, and then we got to go back to work on Monday.
Yeah, because I mean, this was all shot, seems like in the same location.
Yeah.
And there wasn't
And, like,
much
it's-
that they had to do as far as like, again, we did mention the lighting, and we think that the
it's
lighting.
hard to tell if it's daylight or dusk
Right.
or dawn or night. Like it
Right.
jumps around.
Because in one
so
shot you'll see, and it
fucking
looks,
much.
you'll see the actual light, like it gets darker the shot,
yeah.
and then they turn the camera over, and it almost seems like there's some light coming in from the
Yeah,
window.
it's like daylight or something
Yeah.
coming in, sort of.
and this
thing.
happens multiple times, even when they're outside.
Yeah,
One of the characters, or the character, what's his name?
Everett.
The dumbass who's he has an eye patch now.
He sets out
10 years later, he has an eye patch.
and he talk like this and
Yeah, and he has like some kind of southern drawl on him, and it doesn't make
weird
any
ass-
sense.
I think he probably just had a stroke, and that's what it was, and it fucked his face. And
Well, the eye patch is never explained, because when we first see him in the beginning of the movie, he does
was
not get
fine.
scratched
Yeah,
in the eye.
exactly. And then like later on, he's a big time Sasquatch hunter.
Yeah,
or
he
whatever.
has a different haircut. He has an eye patch, and he has a scar on his fucking face.
Yeah.
And none of that is explained. He's just turned into a giant fucking asshole.
Yeah.
That he just so happens to.
Yeah,
He comes into the picture again, kidnaps Lily.
Somehow he sneaks into the
shower?
with
Yeah.
her. Like, okay,
It didn't
sure.
make any sense.
No, it doesn't. He's just there. The spirit of the Wendigo.
But apparently he's trying to bait the Bigfoot to kill the
with
Bigfoot.
her, and
Because he thinks the Bigfoot killed his girlfriend.
right, yeah, he thought it was all about the girl, I guess. So that's why he's trying to get another blonde. And apparently, he's been unsuccessful up until now, because Lily looks around and she sees other corpses around her, and she freaks out. And
But the one thing that was really extra dumb in this scene was that, again, he captured her, he tied her up on a tree to kind of bait the Bigfoot.
right,
But
by this point, we assume he's a seasoned pro.
yeah,
You know?
but he gets fucking ambushed like very easily by some physical Wendigos.
Yeah, some dumb
behind
shit.
him.
The fucking gremlins crawl up his ass.
He's literally out in the open.
Yeah.
Like he's not hiding in any
No.
way. You would think that
And he
after
hears
all these
them.
years, he would have like
he
been
hears
able to
them
maneuver
Yeah.
them, but no, like nothing.
He should have done some predator shit or whatever and set up some fucking booby traps and nothing. No. What?
no, he
All
had some whack ass gun.
Yeah, that thing looked like a fucking toy, man. Like a Rough Rider or whatever the fuck. The fucking BB guns.
Right, from like Christmas Story or something.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about. It really does. Like it's trash. So what? So okay. Just to go back about how the fucking plot in this makes no goddamn sense. We have the spirit of Wendigo. We have the Wendigo themselves, the little fucking, hairless gremlin
Creatures,
guys. And then we've got fucking Bigfoot Sasquatch.
Bigfoot is just a side character, and I'm assuming that Bigfoot played more of a role in one of their past movies.
I would argue that Bigfoot is the hero of the story.
He is. He is the fucking hero.
Which is very weird considering he murders the professor. Like it slashes
he
his
does,
throat.
right? Or he does, or is it no?
Isn't it him? I'm
no,
pretty
I
sure
think it
it's
was
him.
one of those Wendigo dudes.
You think so?
Yeah.
I think you know what? I think you're right. It's hard to remember. It was all just
Right, because I mean, like everything is shot so in the dark, like you can't tell.
What?
You can tell.
I think you're right.
Yeah, I think it was the Wendigos because like
Bigfoot's
Wendigo,
a good guy. Girl,
I mean,
whatever.
the Wendigos crash through the window and kind of like rip out his almost throat.
Yeah,
right?
they rip out his throat and then they drag him out of
like
the car.
Bigfoot would have just like growled and fucking carried him out. I assume.
Bigfoot would have lifted the car and taken it away with him or some shit because that motherfucker's strong. And so we've gone over how this story makes no fucking sense. Like it's just all over the goddamn place trying to figure out what the fuck is going on. These guys are trying to survive as the Wendigo comes in and singles them out. And as it turns out, like there's like it's like a tribe or whatever. It's like a group of Wendigo. It's not just one that are coming after them. And of course, Isabel is one of them. Now I have like maybe two favorite parts of the movie and like one sub part or whatever, and that is the parts where Isabel's possessed and she goes back to the house and she's like, "Hi, babe," like I was telling you, I was like, "Oh, that's some Evil Dead shit right there."
That was
shark
Evil Dead
teeth
possession,
and like the fucking smile, and it was funny. I like that. I was like, "Cool."
Wait, you did call it. There's a point in when she's in bed and she sees that her little iPad is displaying a message that assuming like some spirit was asking a question.
Right. What did it say?
I don't have any answers for like killing whatever the fuck.
It was
I don't remember what
it was like Alexa, Google what do I do when I hunger for flesh and blood or some stupid shit like that.
But her face shows up. Her face shows up on the screen.
Right, yeah,
as a mirror image.
The screen turns on and you see the FaceTime of her.
And she's like doing the typical thing. Like, is this real? Am I seeing this thing? She sees the eyes of the Wendigo behind her in the window. Not in the painting.
Yeah, she turns around. She turns around.
Yeah, and then Roland called it out. I bet you you'll see in the background her face is a still image of her smiling
in the image and
maliciously or something.
And she turns around and just so you see the fucking reflection is like trying to be evil, and then it just starts laughing. Ha ha ha! I was like, Evil Dead, but this is trash. Again, like fucking Dollar General Evil Dead. And my second favorite part, obviously, is
the techno scene.
Yes, the techno scene. And that's where we should get into this about the fucking music. I think the music is as well, like just as fucking batshit like nonsensical as the shots, as the lighting, as the acting.
I made a comment
during
the movie whenever the Lily is playing music in the car.
Oh, right.
She plays that weird, like if you have an app, if you have an iPhone, if you get like just a fucking
plays that weird you have alt like emo rock or whatever.
No, you have like an audio clip.
Right, yeah.
The general like line with the fucking play button is like it's just a generic. There's no picture. It's just generic.
Yeah.
So she pushes play and then some shit fucking alternative rock comes on, and I was like, they couldn't even like have some designer like put like an album, like a generic ass album cover on there.
Couldn't they have just like taken a screenshot of Spotify and just like blurred out a few pieces and she just taps the screen or some shit,
Yeah, like
easy, guys.
If that's the case, why even get a shot of her fucking clicking
you know
on
what?
the phone?
She could have. You didn't even need to see the phone. Like, what the fuck did they need to put the camera on the phone for? Just bad music
there,
plays.
Get
you
another
know?
shot
Like,
of her facing this way, and she goes, click, music starts.
Yeah.
But no, they had to get a shot of the phone
Right.
with the generic ass audio clip playing.
And they sort of, there are a lot of little details in this movie that are just like pointless. One of them was that like before, and I assume this is supposed to explain why she's such a bitter bitch or whatever throughout the whole movie, but it looks like, and I was making fun of these guys' names the whole time because they're very white bread names. I'm sorry, not sorry. Like, you know, you've
Everett.
You've got fucking Everett Dillon or whatever. You got Jake. You got Oz is
Roger.
a cool name, you know. But again, like I'm talking about the white bread fellows. Lily, I think she's reading a text in the beginning of the movie, and it says something along the lines of, "Oh, we can't see each other right now. I don't think it's a good idea," kind of thing. And the name at the top of the text is Taylor.
Yeah,
I was like, come on,
that is
man.
never addressed, right?
No,
like,
it's not.
Just
like it's
that,
just
like,
a pointless thing, and then like she's just angry throughout the whole movie.
There's a lot of like again with the whole phone shot and
Right.
that shot. These are all just filler.
Yeah, but
shots
but it's so weird that like, okay, you know what? Maybe that's a good point, Ray. Absolutely, it needs to be. These guys were like, okay, this movie needs to be like an hour and 8 minutes long.
Yeah, they were just filling time.
We need
sure.
to like really stretch out. Like, where can we throw in like 30 seconds here and there and like every scene?
Remember the shot when Lily is gonna take a shower.
Yeah,
mind you, like. She said she's gonna take a shower, and then like a few minutes go by, and she's barely like getting into the
right.
like barely like not even like
and
prepping. She like removes her shirt,
right?
Like turns on the water, I think.
And then Jake comes up to the door and he's like, I need to pee. And she's like, get the fuck out of here.
And then the other dweeb, Chris, comes up and says that he needs to go too.
He doesn't even. He's like, hey, Lily. And she just says, fuck off.
Yeah.
She doesn't even. She thinks it's Chris. Or excuse me, she thinks it's Jake.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, I guess I'll go pee outside. He has to build up the courage. He's like, okay, I guess we're doing this. As he unlocks the front door. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
A bunch of scenes that were nonsense.
You're a grown-ass little bitch, apparently. Goddamn. Just go outside and piss off the porch.
In all that time, even before all this shit happens, is it Lily? No, Isabel says she's gonna go make a call outside. That shit happens, and then they get a clip of her just walking out the door. Right, like the timing of everything is like completely off.
Yeah,
you may think like we're nitpicking, but this film.
No, we're actually leaving out a lot.
Yeah, we're leaving out a lot.
We're trying to remember it, but it's just so bad. And I left off again. This rant, I left off on talking about the music.
Yes,
again,
we were talking about the music. Yeah.
The music and the sound effects for this fucking thing are just the worst. I was telling Ray. I think like the main theme, like the action chase music for this sounds like if an industrial band tried to do the theme for Psycho. You hear like the read, but it's also like what the fuck is this? And then
the sound design for the Wendigos themselves.
It sounds like two angry pigs fucking. Like it's with stupidest shit
with some EQ on the
right. Yeah, you gotta give it a little boost.
Yeah, a little bit of EQ. Maybe some phase issues. I don't know, but like
it sort of rounds it out. Gives it a little heft, right? Yeah. Heft to that.
They threw out a bit of low end on that just to go like
Jesus Christ. And like the first few times I'm like, okay, cool, and then I'm just like, that sounds.
It's a pig.
Yep. Sounds and like then at that point it's like, okay, that's enough. Like. You don't need to do that anymore.
But they did it
every time,
every single time.
They kept going and then like at one point there's a field full of them, and all you hear is like, God, why?
Even possessed Lily has Jesus. Like a big old
she's got
pig,
the same
pig squeal.
Yep. She's got the biggest one.
Yeah,
the deepest. But yeah, so the other great part of this movie, and it was said in this one shitty fucking review of this movie, and Ray was telling me this guy's probably a friend of theirs or something, because the guy was like, oh yeah, the effects are amazing, the story is so great.
It's one of the only reviews that we saw, official reviews.
Yeah, it's on off of Wikipedia if anybody wants to look. You'll see.
It's from a website called Nerdly.
I don't know anything. I couldn't care less.
The wording of this is
if you're fans, come at us. Whatever.
If
that review was trash.
the way it's worded seems like someone who's a friend of theirs and is just supporting their friends, which is fine.
Yeah, you know what
Totally
it is.
fine. Absolutely cool that you're doing that. But your
But that's
reputation's on the
really
line.
stretching it, man.
Yeah.
You know what? Like, if you're supporting your friends, like, do it within reason, bro.
Yeah.
Like, this is... No. The story was not good. The sound was horrible. I was telling Ray...
The effects were terrible.
Yeah. I did like the techno song. I tried to Shazam it. I'm like, is this Dance from the Dance with the Dead? Is this? No. It was, you know... I'll give it to them. Like, at least it was I guess it was an original score that they mixed.
It's
or
so
whatever.
oddly out of place.
It is. It absolutely makes no fucking sense. Like, see,
Techno, but
for the most part, a lot of
it's out of
this
place.
is a mix of that weird industrial theme music and then like atmospheric. So
Yeah.
you hear that.
But the techno music jumps in during the Wendigo and the Bigfoot fight.
Yeah, that's right. Wendigo and Bigfoot fight.
Let me just say this. If you never do watch this movie, just
watch that
let me
clip.
just give you a description.
Find that clip
just a
on
quick
YouTube.
description. All right. Every shot of Bigfoot is from here up.
Yeah.
All right.
He does step on a few people, but it's always just you just see
it
them
could
on
be
the...
someone with a fucking stick of his foot and just fucking like does this thing.
Yeah.
And like squish the Wendigo heads, you know.
Yeah, that's true.
Basically all Bigfoot does is either twist their head, throw them against a tree, stab them.
Right, with a big ass log.
You only see from this point up.
Yep. And Ray called it on the perfect moment. The beat drops when one of the Wendigos sneaking up on Bigfoot, and they're like, "Rah!" And Bigfoot just fucking whips that log around. He picks up a big ass branch and whips it around and fucking whacks him, and then that's when it picks up and you know, just it was fucking hilarious.
And the character of Chris is just kind of like lying there in shock.
Yeah, and you know what, like. Best part of the movie. I would say the best part of the movie. I want to see more fucking cryptids fight each other. That was fucking cool.
This is the positive part of our little discussion here. We're not gonna like completely trash this movie. This is the part where we're gonna praise the movie.
That part
during the Bigfoot Wendigo
sci-fi original award worthy. That's that one clip. The rest of this movie is
terrible,
horrible. Why would you do this to yourselves?
I mean, if they had based the movie around that. Build a better story around the fight between the Wendigo and the fucking Bigfoot.
That would have been great, you know.
And mind you, the spirit of the Wendigo, the one with the antlers standing off, just disappears.
Yeah, he's like, it's just watching the whole time as it gets
I would love to have seen
Bigfoot.
The spirit of the Wendigo, like
rise up,
show some fear, or like even like come at Bigfoot with his superpowers.
That would have been fucking cool.
He did not.
Yeah.
So he kind of just ran off and retreated. The fucking pussy, like.
Yeah, it just, you know, faded away or some shit. Like, and that was the other thing that was kind of odd about this is that the Wendigo had psychic powers.
Yeah.
Like they could make people hallucinate and also like lock doors from the inside, you know, of a room kind of thing. Like that was how Oz got
it's
ganked.
Not I feel like they wanted to bring up some lore about the Wendigo, but they didn't do any good enough exposition in this movie.
They got some asshole to get like a fucking charcoal stick and just shit out a couple of drawings on like a
sketchbook.
A sketchbook from what the fuck?
The dollar store?
No,
Barnes and Noble?
like fuck yeah, sure. No, I was thinking of some bullshit arts and crafts fucking place. Michael's.
Hobby Lobby?
Hobby Lobby. There it is. There it is. Oh God, it sucked.
I mean, and the penmanship is like you can't. It's not
like
legible. You know, like
chicken
it's
scratch
just
on
like
crack.
script. Like so, like you can like make out the word Wendigo, but everything else is just like
and it's
like
so funny
erratic cursive that you can't really make out.
He reads from the because the pages are covered in writing, you know, and shitty sketches and what's his name? Chris is reading it and he's like, "Spirit of the flesh," turns the page. We'll find grief.
That's all he could make out.
The page again.
That's all he could make out. When he was reading. That's what it was.
Okay.
That's all he could. That's all he could read because everything else looked like shit.
Really, dude? Oh man.
Well, I mean, and then like there's like multiple pages of it says it's where it says here it comes.
Maybe it's just saying right at the end. Yeah. That wasn't in cursive though.
No, that was just big. That was just big block letters.
Here they come. They come. They're coming.
Yeah, and then you would have expected some like jizz shower all over the place, but no. No, there was not.
No, that would have been amusing. This could have gotten pornographic easily.
Yeah. Bigfoot erotica, it exists.
It should.
No, it does.
Oh, it does?
It does.
Oh, that's right. It does. We've got congressmen to thank for that.
Yeah, Bigfoot erotica.
Way to go, Florida. You're bringing us all the goodness once again. So, yeah, while we were mentioning it again, while Sasquatch is having his face off, this ridiculous fucking techno is just blasted through, and then it ends, and then it's just back to like their shit ambient.
We want
ambient music.
The endings of this movie, I do want to talk about.
So it could have
this movie could have ended multiple times.
Yeah, like at least 4 or 5.
This movie could have ended after the Bigfoot fight. It's daylight. The guy gets in the car. He fucking drives away.
Right.
That's it.
Yeah.
Over. But that doesn't end there.
No.
His possessed little girlfriend shows up.
Yep. Still there.
Still alive.
Yep.
And there's this whole nonsense going on with her. They
have a chase scene in and around the truck.
It could have been more boring.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like she jumps into the window on the driver's side while Chris crawls out of the passenger side.
And then crawls underneath the truck.
Under the truck and then jumps in the back of the bed of the truck.
Yeah. The bed of the fucking truck. And then she
opens
takes the time to unlatch
the tailgate. She lowers the tailgate. You just see that, like, again, this is some Evil Dead comedy. It had to be that they were trying for laughs here.
I hope they were doing it for laughs because, like,
oh man, I saw
that's
that
all
shit,
this movie deserves. There's no scares.
And I was telling Ray, like, okay, now we're gonna see a hand just reach up and just claw back in, and immediately she pulls herself up onto the tailgate. Hey, babe.
Yeah.
You want some head or whatever? Like, what are you gonna do?
And there just so happens to be gasoline in the car.
Right. Yeah.
He dumps it on her, and he just so happens to have the matches that he had from earlier in the evening.
Yeah, that's right.
Because he wanted to start the fire or whatever that no one gave a fuck about.
Yeah.
And this is how long it takes. All right. I just want to like.
It could have ended it. It could have. That's another part.
Can I mime this out for the audience? Right. He takes it out. Right. This is as slow as it's happening. All right. He takes it out. Takes out the match. Mind you, this fucking possessed bitch is coming at him in the fucking bed of the truck. He lights it. Looks at the goddamn fucking match. And then, like, flings it. Like, just flutters in her face.
Dropped it.
And then she fucking gets set on fire.
Right. Yeah.
And
we're
at that point,
more bad flaming CG.
CG flaming girl.
Yeah. At that point, again, it could have ended.
Again.
Nope.
No, well, but before we go on, but like this is what happens also. They get a shot of her, bad CGI burning, alive.
Yep.
Then they get a shot of him. You see nothing of a firelight burning in front of him whatsoever. No. And mind you, she's right in fucking front of him.
Yeah, that's true.
And you see nothing. He's just like reacting.
But his pant leg is on fire, like just a little.
Yeah, and then at some point, his little left pant leg gets on fire, and then he jumps up to take off his pants, which you also do not see any sort of part of a flame going on, because you know why? Budget. You don't have the money to set this guy on fire.
Right. It could have smeared some dirt.
He's
in
not
there,
a professional. He can't
ashy.
just like pull off his pants as his pants are on fire. Like they're not going to do that.
And what does he say?
I hated these khakis.
Yeah, because she it's sort of intimated in the beginning. Isabel is kind of a control freak or whatever, or she buys him a pair of pants. Yeah, she buys him a pair of pants. And he's not wearing them, but as she's helping him unpack, she is helping him unpack his fucking clothes. She comments to that, why aren't you wearing those khakis I bought you? And he's like, well,
mind you, he brought them with him.
Yeah, he still brought them, but he's not wearing them.
He's not wearing them at that moment.
And then he mumbles out some bullshit, and she's like, well, I bought them for you to wear them. I'm just like, fucking red flag. What the fuck is this noise? Man. And then again, they make the joke at the end. I hate these khakis because this is the part where, like, throughout the movie, like they make fun of this guy because he's a pussy. They're like, "Oh, you're a pushover. She's gonna chew you up. She's gonna chew your balls out."
But this is primarily said by
Lily, because she's a bitter bitch, of course. But then you see like how she treats him, and like she's very dismissive of him. But he's also clingy and annoying. You know, like he's a fucking loser.
I wanted him to die.
Yeah, exactly. I was looking at like, I can't wait for your virgin ass to die.
He should not have, spoilers, survived the entire thing.
No, he shouldn't have. You know what? They should have given it to Oz.
Oz should have fucking
Oz
with
could've-
his knowledge of cryptozoology.
and then you know what? Bruce? You could have made a sequel with Oz instead of this Frankenstein ass.
where he goes to in search of Bigfoot
Train
to kind of
wreck.
like hang out with Bigfoot.
Yeah.
And go into
To
battle
live-
with Bigfoot, you know?
Yeah.
You think Bigfoot, this is the only battle he fights? He's fighting people like fucking weird cryptoid shit in those woods every day.
Yeah, he would have been. You know what? They could have gone 10 years later, and then he could have been the guy with the eye patch.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Warn from battle.
What the fuck, man?
with Bigfoot.
Way to go, dude. You really dropped the ball. Oz was your ticket, and you blew it. You know, you left it with. Oh, and so, okay, getting back again.
Bruce and Anna, call Cinequest, bro.
Right.
We'll help you
Hey,
out. we'll be consultants on your movie. You
we
know?
can help you write something.
Right? You guys write it, and then we'll kind of like just
We got
redirect some
booze.
shit, right?
We got plenty of talent juice right here, baby.
First time, free of charge, we'll do it.
Yeah.
Right.
What you got to lose? Nothing. So again, this movie could have ended when
The chick was burning.
they set her
and
ass on fire. But
he ran
no.
over her.
He gets in the car and fucking backs up over her and then runs over her
and he
again.
could have driven off.
Yeah, no, he turns the car off and
Cries
then
a
sits
little
there
bit.
and cries a little.
And then who shows up?
I'm a man.
Bigfoot.
I'm a man. Yes, right.
Bigfoot comes.
Well, the shadow of Bigfoot is not in the screen.
He's not on the screen, but you know
shot.
he's there.
Yeah. Because
You see the reflection. You see the reflection in the windshield.
Yeah, and then Chris shits himself.
Yeah. And as he's passing by, credits.
Right.
Fucking credits.
It could have been there. Like fucking Sasquatch gives a thumbs up or whatever.
He's like,
yeah. Go get a pussy. Like. No.
Fuck the thumbs up.
It's not
a wink.
A wink.
Bigfoot winks at him.
Yeah, and it could have done the little like twinkle noise. Bing.
Yeah. That would have, you know what? That would have elevated this movie so much if they did the wink and the twink.
Yeah. The twinkle.
But they didn't. It keeps on going.
Yeah, it keeps fucking
this
going. This
fucking idiot gets out of the car in his chonies.
Yeah, because it won't start. The car won't start.
Yeah.
And
So
he gets out, he walks away, and you see some shitty like CG flames kind of flickering out from the bottom of the goddamn truck, and it explodes.
The fucking
truck explodes.
Then
That's right.
yeah,
Then.
it doesn't end after the explosion.
No.
Then Everett shows up again because he at some point in the evening after he got attacked by those Wendigos, he got possessed.
Could have also ended after the explosion.
Yes, could have ended after the explosion.
That's right.
But Everett shows up, giving some whack ass monologue about some nonsense.
How this wasn't about his girl.
You know what he reminded me of?
An idiot.
Yes, but an idiot from the movie Men in Black with Will Smith and Tommy Lee Jones as the villain.
Uh-huh.
You know, that guy's like,
Ed?
Yeah, like, you know how he
Edgar?
speaks and stuff?
Yeah.
That's exactly the way
Yeah,
this
he
guy
does do a lot of that.
choking on your own, like, phlegm. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what it looked like.
Again, these, like, it's the worst overacting.
And mind you, just continued on with the scene for like a good 3 minutes.
Yeah, holy fuck.
The longest 3 minutes probably I've ever seen.
It dragged. And I immediately knew how it was going to end. Like, this is the one time I'm like, oh, I'm not going to say this. I'm not going to say this. I'm not going to say this. But I should have. I knew he was going to fucking get out his bullshit monologue, walk up to fucking Chrissy, as he's trying to, like, hum out his stupid fucking
Everett's gonna get you or something.
Right,
shit
yeah.
like that.
His goddamn Nightmare on Elm Street redneck ripoff. And Mr. Big Balls Chris out of nowhere finally gets fed up and just fucking chops his head off with the goddamn shovel. I'm just like, yeah. That's what I expected.
Done.
Like, this is going to be something. Like, this is where I was expecting the sci-fi original ending. This is going to be something stupid. It's going to build up to, like, a quick fix.
He could have chopped off his head.
Yeah.
And then his head's still talking. Okay.
Yeah.
And the movie.
Everett's still here.
And the movie.
Again, more funny. Actually, that would have been a perfect ending with the talking head.
Been,
I would have liked that.
Yeah.
Again, more silly Evil Dead shit.
But they don't.
No.
He walks and he walks and he walks and he walks. Then he comes upon a fucking bird. And he's like, how happy to see the bird.
Yeah. So this is another. They have so many callbacks in the end of this movie. The fucking pants. Everett
is a callback.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, he is. And then the fucking birds. At one point, Chris was in the when they first start going on the tour.
Yeah,
he sees a bird and he's like,
watching,
of course. He knows what it is. It's the black-footed, double booby.
He's the only nerd that wants to go bird watching, and nobody else wants to do it.
And I'm gonna stay here and watch this. I'm like, have you ever done bird watching, dude? They're pretty. And it's fucking boring. They do nothing. They sit there, they shit, and they peck at stuff. Like, I don't understand. This is fucking dumb. And
so again, another callback with the birds.
Yeah, he looks up at the bird, and it's like...
He's all like, almost like delirious in a way.
Right. He's like, oh, it's a sign life will be good or whatever. Like, again, survived.
Could have ended there.
Yeah.
It does not.
Nope.
We have a car coming up in the distance.
Yep.
And it's the guy from the convenience store.
Yeah, so they meet some locals as they go to a gas station or whatever, and they have the funniest intro ever. What do they say when they talk to him? One of them, because there's two there. The one that picks him up, and then the other one that was working with him. Right. He says, where they're like, how's it going? Or what does he say? It's like, it's always slow during dead month or some stupid shit like that.
Apparently it's called dead month because there's a lot of people that disappear during that particular time.
Dead month.
It's a dead season or whatever.
Like, they really, guys.
So I guess
with the writing,
not the person working the counter, but I assume it's the owner is driving by and he picks up fucking Chris.
Maybe they could have called it like the lost month or something. I don't know. Sure. Like, there's
dead month.
Easy. There's so many. Oh my God.
Yeah, there's some. I mean, what you would is it some like exposition in the beginning of the movie
that gives you like foreshadowing ever?
It's gonna preface like the fucking movie. And
stuff.
But now Roland, after he picks him up, I kind of blacked out. Does anything happen after that?
No.
Is that when it ends?
So that's when it finally ends. But after they have a little chat. And the driver kind of like, he's like, oh, this guy's serious now. I can't joke with him or whatever. What does he say? He like looks at him and he's like, oh yeah, it's that dead month or whatever. And he kind of does a smile. And Chris at this point is like, no fucks given Chris. And he just sort of looks at him with his stink eye or whatever. Yeah. And like he stares at the camera and like that's, when it just goes back to the driver and he's like, his smile kind of drops and they just drive off. And like, that's it. It's over. It's like, fuck, are you sure? Are you sure?
Now it's over.
I was expecting some bullshit like fucking Sasquatch in the back seat or in the fucking bed of the truck or the spirit of the Wendigo, a skull like on the hood or something.
Right. Like he has some kind of thing to do with it. Like he's like maybe the driver and the people of the town are like a part of this whole conspiracy with the Wendigo and Bigfoot. But they just assume that all this exists already, and they just like kind of leave it be, which is probably the best thing to do.
Yeah,
don't go into the woods. But I mean, the stereotypical thing in horror movies: a group of young people end up going to a convenience store. I mean, you take your pick on which movie you want to do a callback on this. Cabin Fever, fucking Wrong Turn, like almost like every single one of them. Anytime someone is going into the fucking woods, they always stop at a convenience store where the townsfolk tell Blair Witch, the townsfolk like are, oh, you be careful out there, like you don't know, like you might not come back or some shit like that.
Do they stop somewhere in Jeepers Creepers or they're just driving through?
They're just driving through.
Remember.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
But yeah, so I mean, this is it's cliche. Like there's a lots of cliche moments in this movie, all ripped from like the tropes of horror movies in general.
Like it took them all 5 minutes to put this shit together, and as it turns out, like the bullshit jokes I was making earlier, when we looked it up a little bit to see what they talked about, the director apparently was double dipping. So he had two movies done before this, both in 2020, one called Monstrous and the other called The Retreat, and also both containing Sasquatch and the Wendigo separately. And so this is the connection of the Wempleverse or whatever, this is how that's how they tied it together, with these two previous fucking shit piles. And
I assume like fans of the first two movies that came out last fucking year.
You mean fan of the first two movies?
Yeah, the fan.
That one guy from Nerdly. Yeah. You're a true friend. I'll say that about you, man.
You know what? It's good that you support your friends. That's fine.
It is. But we're not. We're not friends. Sorry.
No, we're here to be as honest as possible.
That's what we are. We're casualties.
On IMDb, this is rated a 3.7 out of 10. No, I'm sorry. That was Monstrous.
Yeah,
this one's a 3.8 out of 10.
Woo!
But we'll get to our ratings in just like official ratings in just a minute.
Sure.
I do want to like talk about I guess the levels of this movie. Like as far as the gore factor, like what would you say this is what would you rate this like out of a 5?
God. So, what is this movie rated? Is it PG-13 or R?
R.
This is like a PG movie. That's how.
I'll be honest with you. Is it even rated? Check the screen there. We have IMDb pulled up on our computer here. I don't see a rating, but it's got to be rated R. It has to be.
I mean, I hope so.
You would see the rating right by the minutes, the horror, and the year that it was, or the time that it was released. But I don't see it. So
hold on.
I'm gonna guess it's an R, man. Like. If it's unrated, didn't even the MPAA didn't even bother to they didn't watch this fucking movie to rate it.
Oh no, I think this was like straight to DVD, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's probably unrated. Yeah.
Yeah, so
but it's an R-ish. It's a light R.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the gore factor.
It's like a PG film to me. Like I think they used some raw sausage links or whatever for guts.
Those are some big ass sausages, but like it's again. Like you said, it looks like they raided the Halloween store and just grabbed a bunch of stuff, and they could have like just put it in like some kind of liquid to make it look like
$100.
Mind you, one of the intestines or some of the intestines of these people that whenever the Wendigo is eating the person's guts, the fucking intestines like this fucking big.
Yeah.
just hanging off the person.
It's
just some kind of effect.
Just one tube.
Budget, fine. I mean,
I understand. You know,
this budget, if you're gonna rent the place for like
probably
let's say
where
a
all
weekend,
the money went.
Let's say I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt. I'm gonna say a week. They rented it for a week. Could have been $1,000 maybe, depending on where they're going, right?
Yeah.
Unless they have a friend.
Yeah,
that place belongs to. Yeah. So let's just say $1,000.
Or you know what? Maybe the director owns that place, and those were the proceeds he used from the retreat and monsters.
Hey, what if mom and dad own that place?
Oh, that's true. You know what?
There it is.
Thanks, Mom. You're the best.
So again, gore factor. What would you rate this out of a 5?
I don't know, like a 0.5.
A 0.5.
It's almost non-existent to me.
I would agree with that. I'm gonna be nice.
The most gore I think you see is when Sasquatch fights.
That's what I was about to say that. I was gonna give it a 1.
And when like and that's not really gore. It's violence, actually. Violence.
But there is
when the professor dies. Is shown later. He's impaled.
But I mean, if you're going to talk about gore during the fight, like he impales the Wendigos and the head gets crushed.
Yeah, and that's because before that a girl gets her arm ripped off, and it's still nothing. Just
in fact, I had to ask Roland. I go, did her arm get ripped off? Because it looked just like they like some kind of stringy shit.
Yeah,
it happened so quickly, and you just see like
and it's dark again.
You see like the cheese kind of like
stretching out, and then a squirt, and then I'm like, oh, she's gonna bleed out. Okay, they ripped her arm off. Yep, she does. Okay.
What about let's say scares? Are there any scares in this movie? 0 for me.
Yeah, no. I think it's negative scare factor.
Oh, I think we laughed because we were laughing. We were laughing
at everything.
I mean, if your intention was to like at least get some kind of like positive reaction, that's the most positive reaction you're gonna get is that we laughed at this movie. And it's not like I wasn't angry watching this movie, but I mean, like I would have preferred it to have been somewhat
better,
inebriated in some way.
Yeah, it helped. It would have helped a lot. It would probably have laughed harder.
Yeah, it would have laughed harder.
It's just there's really nothing about this aside from those clips that we mentioned. That's worth checking out on this or remembering. Really. The last official rating for the final viewing, Roland, of Dawn of the Beast, I don't think it's going to be any surprise. Are you going to hail this or are you going to bury it? Oh, this shit needs to be buried big time. Like under, like way the fuck down. I mean, like just, I don't know. You could, if you could drop it into a fucking active volcano, that kind of thing, that would be appropriate, you know? But preserve the Sasquatch versus. Dude, I was just gonna say. All right, for mine, I'm gonna say bury it. Let's just cut out the clip of fucking I was Wendigo saying we should put Sasquatch. That in Wolf Cop or some shit. Well, let's preserve that. All right. The rest of it. So the whole movie is not at a loss. There is some. Right. There's some parts of it that it's got a merit or here or there's some merit. There's some validation. There's some a little bit treasure in this movie. Yeah. And I'm glad at least there was that because without that Bigfoot Wendigo scene, like
I wouldn't.
And that shit came out of fucking nowhere.
With the techno music too.
Yeah, that shit really just, again, this fucking soundtrack, man, makes no sense.
I need.
The whole time we were watching this, Ray was just like, I don't know what the fuck to expect. I don't know where this is going.
Yeah, because it didn't make any sense.
None of this is, what could happen? What could happen? Like anything. I was like, aliens. Sasquatch fight.
Sasquatch, Wendigo, yeah.
I was happy with that.
I'm gonna say for the writers and directors of this movie, take that Bigfoot Wendigo scene and just expand that.
That's right.
Expand that,
right?
please.
It's like have Bigfoot go fight.
Was it the best fight scene?
Nessie.
No,
it absolutely wasn't. Again, like it was dark and but it was pretty good for what they did with it. Actually,
Yeah.
I was actually okay with that. Again, like mostly torso shots and like people in those fucking spray painted fucking Zentai suits running it at fucking Bigfoot screaming.
But as dumb as it was, the techno music helped the scene.
It did somehow.
Yeah. In any other place, I would have been, because when actually the techno music started,
it's like
my
a different
reaction
movie.
was like, "What
it's like
the?"
a different.
Like, my
fucking
eyes
movie.
widened up. I was like, "They're not gonna do it." It just slowly, the techno music just slowly builds up, and then it just comes in. Whatever the fuck it did.
Yeah.
Like,
So like when I saw this, it immediately made me feel like when I was watching Freddy versus Jason again, and when fucking Freddy and Jason finally face off, and you're like, yes,
yeah,
and they fuck each other up, and I was like, this is the best, and then it's over, and you know,
yeah, because I mean, beloved characters like Freddy and Jason, as much as I love them, I know that fucking first half of the first like 3/4 of the movie is terrible. It's not good at all.
No.
I mean, when Freddy and Jason are on screen, that's fun.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
I would have liked to have seen more Bigfoot. He seems like the star of this fucking movie.
Yeah, he actually was.
And the hero,
The hero.
like we mentioned.
Yeah, because it ain't Chris. He's a little bitch.
The only part that mattered in Freddy vs. Jason was the battle between Freddy vs. Jason.
And it was fucking
that's what everybody wanted.
Awesome.
So, I will say
advice to the director, man, make more of that shit.
Yes,
all
please.
right. I want to see fucking Sasquatch beat up Nessie, the fucking Jersey Devil.
Nessie,
fucking
Jesus Christ.
Mothman. Like,
damn, the Mothman.
Get in there, man. Get in there. You can do this, dude.
Maybe like Bigfoot fighting like a horde of goblins or something. You know, like gremlins. I mean, that might be a little bit harder because like copyright and stuff like that.
Oh, you mean those gremlins?
Those gremlins, not Wendigo gremlins.
I don't know.
The gremlins.
I think Spike would probably like set him on fire or some weird shit.
We'll see.
Some sneaky.
More Bigfoot battles, please.
Yeah,
please.
That's what we need.
I won't. I mean, I'm gonna say bury this movie, but again, cut out the Wendigo
just
Bigfoot
that one
part,
that one segment,
and just expand on that. Those characters, I mean, I know you guys are probably on a budget.
Yeah.
And that's why you're double dipping yourselves as writers, as stars, producers, as like supervisors, producers, whatever the fuck it is.
Right.
Take yourselves out of the movie and put Bigfoot in there.
Yeah.
Just replace it.
Yeah. Yeah.
We remember, and I'll say this too. I saw like Godzilla, Kong versus Godzilla and all that kind of shit.
Yeah.
Think of that, but take the fucking people out of that too. Because I didn't need that either.
No. Like that movie was great again for Godzilla and Kong fucking each other up. But like what's her face from Stranger Things, like that whole segment, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
It was trash.
And I haven't seen part two. I haven't seen part 2, and I don't want to see it because like I hear that's terrible.
There's a part 2.
Well, there's like Godzilla, and then is it Godzilla King of the Monsters? And then fucking the King of the Monsters one, like I did not watch.
No, I haven't. I don't think I've seen
it. It didn't seem appealing to me at all. But I mean, Kong versus Godzilla, fuck yeah, I watch that shit. Yeah,
people like to see those fucking face-offs, and that was smart. But you know what, man? That should have been one of the main points of this fucking movie. Like you could have ran with that shit, and it would have been the tits. Instead, we get this shit. You know, there's like saggy tits. I don't know,
but. I mean, I'm not to say that our opinion matters for shit because it really doesn't.
No, it doesn't.
But these are just folks just trying to like watch these movies and, you know, give some kind of
coherency,
some thoughts to it, you know, opinions.
Yeah.
Again, we don't know shit either. So whatever.
No.
That's why we do podcasts.
Yeah, it's fun. I mean, it brings us to stuff like this.
Although director and writer, if you want to critique us on our thoughts on your movie, please leave a comment below.
Oh yeah, come on.
Leave a comment below. Subscribe if you want, so we can hear like anything else.
I want to hear what your vision was for this.
I mean, because honestly, I'll watch your other movies and I'll do that as well.
Yeah, I'm sure they're just as bad as this one.
Yeah, as long as Bigfoot's in it, I might find some kind of I'll find something good about
something interesting, maybe.
But unless you make Bigfoot cry, I mean, because this is no Harry and the Hendersons.
Oh, absolutely not. Don't you do that. I mean, unless you can somehow afford John Lithgow, in which case... I
want John Lithgow feeding Bigfoot a hamburger. That's what I want. I want Bigfoot to go in the woods and I want to fucking cry my eyes out, all right? I want to feel something.
Right. Yeah.
In this case, all I saw was a Bigfoot that kicked some ass and walked away and was just like, peace.
Like a badass, you know.
It's over.
You know, it would have been cool if like Bigfoot was walking away from the truck in the end, and like he's taking off glasses, and then the truck explodes behind him. And he's just fucking walking away.
Then he would have killed Chris, and that would have been
no.
fantastic.
Chris is there like on the side, like Chris is already running away. He's just sitting there like, and you just see Bigfoot walking away, slow walk like a badass into the woods. And that would have been another end. You're welcome, but we didn't get that.
You know,
so
it's okay.
I mean, food for thought, right?
Yeah, we're just here to help.
Yeah, that's what we're.
All right, we're gonna give you our honest opinions. The truth always hurts. I mean, again,
nothing for love for you, baby.
If you want to shit on us, I mean, by all means, leave it in the comments. You know?
Yeah, go ahead. Come on, it'll be fun.
So, like I said, anything other thoughts before we end this? We said enough. You know, I don't want to be any more negative Nelly in this.
I do,
podcast.
but I got nothing left.
Yeah,
we pretty much went over the list.
Okay, so if you haven't already, please like and subscribe this episode, and subscribe to our channel, CineQuest Video. Hit the notification bell, the ding dong on the side there.
Right.
That's all. It's gonna be on that end, I think. Leave a comment. Tell us if we sucked. If you like it, you know, whatever. You know, if you hated this, please thumbs down it.
Yeah.
If you like it. Thumbs up.
Find us.
But yeah, be sure to follow us on all of our social medias. The links will be down below. If you want to buy a t-shirt of CineQuest Video, again, that's also down below as well. Follow our other podcasts, Valley Strange, Fat Food, Anatomy Mixtape, if you will. More Valley Strange, that's more current.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's it. See ya.